So I'm in Long Jing right now. Long Jing is the not only the name of probably China's most famous tea, but it's also the name of the village that has the most prized Longjing called the Lion's Peak. This is the Longjing village. I don't mean to be all touristy, but I'm actually in because this is a park basically. I come here because this is where the famous 18 tea trees are. It's behind me. So these are the royal tea trees that the Emperor Tianlong wanted for his own stash, and I would say these are probably the tea trees that made Longjing so famous. It basically pushed it to the number one tea in China. You actually had to pay a small admission fee to come in here. I haven't been here for a few years, but for these video purposes, I thought to. But it's I don't like to come here because it's kind of touristy. But I cannot not come here if I want to give you a overview of Longjing. So you've probably seen this machine in my past videos before, but basically this is a machine that's specialized in making just Longjing. So Longjing making, usually like the first step, the kill green step, now is all using machine. You're gonna see that all Longjing, like a good Longjing, usually are what we call semi-handmade because you still need to finish it by hand. But kind of like the very rough step where you are simply just getting the enzymes, people usually use this machine. They will usually actually sprinkle a little bit of tea oil on the bottom of the machine to grease it. And remember, Longjing, it takes kind of like a flattening motion. So this machine, the reason it's specialized in Longjing is because it mimics that motion. As you can see, it's so different from making other green teas or liqueur. See how little leaves it's in there. 哎，这一次炒多少？炒多少啊？这一次炒是。Oh, so you can adjust the amount of tea in here. 所以这是就是克是吧？这个是啊。So you can see this is a little bit over 60 grams. So 60 grams of raw leaves gives you 这个龙井的制率是多少啊？就是多少斤这个鲜叶做一斤干茶？
下雨天嘛4斤半。
啊。
天晴的4斤。
4斤，嗯。So for Longjing, it's about 4 to 4.5. If it's a rainy day, then it's 4.5 because there's a lot of basically water in tea. And if it's sunny day, then it's 4. So that was 70 grams of raw leaves. So that gives you a little bit over 15 grams of tea if you're lucky. So. And I have to say, this machine is is highly advocated by the people from Tea Research Center. So Longjing is in Hangzhou, and this is where the National Tea Research Center is. So Longjing actually has the benefit of having the best technical support, the scientific research. So Longjing is not only that in the past it enjoyed like immense fame because the endorsements of famous people, including emperors, but also in the modern day, you continue seeing like a different status of Longjing basically, because all the kind of tea experts, their main study is around Longjing, like the tea example they use basically. So when you first make the tea, you can see it's a little greener, and right now it's very, very toasty if I smell the tea. And this one afterwards, you're going to see he's actually going to wrap it up and to let the tea, because remember, this is just to kill the green. He's not finished yet. So he's actually going to let it, the moisture to come out a little bit, and then he's going to finish the tea by hand. Hand making Longjing can still be done if you want to commission it. It costs 4 times the regular tea. I mean, Longjing is already very, very expensive. It's definitely one of the most expensive teas in China, and the price is very stable, by the way. It's not like some other tea where the price fluctuates a lot, so even though it's expensive, but it's kind of how do I say, like it's not stable. The market is not rational. Long Jing has solid followers, solid supporters. It's expensive, it's very, very stable, and a handmade tea can cost 4 times as much. The same batch of tea, basically. So you can see the temperature here. So Long Jing Keating green temperature is slightly lower than Bilochen. Bilochen goes, so this is the temperature. It's 190 degrees Celsius, whereas Bilochen is actually above 200. So this is the control, and this is the actual. So the actual right now is 194, and ideal is to reach 190. So he said he started doing this since he was 15, but that was when everything was, it was super communism, so everything was done in a communal facility, and his first job was actually just to burn the logwood, and when he was 16, he started to get on the walk, and this year he's 60, so it's been over 40 years, 45 years. He's saying to my friend that when he started making tea, my friend who's also much older than me wasn't born yet. 不过我还是可以的，就是就把手指好好的研究。Yeah, oh my god, this is so fascinating. It's really, really hard, and it's so chaotic too, because it's very frustrating because I don't know, like I just have the whole stance, like I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know how to fix it. But basically, he keeps telling me, do this motion, that motion, but it doesn't work like that. The tea doesn't listen to me. Like you can see the tea is so flat in his hand. It's so orderly that he can thrash it against the wall with such force, and the tea wouldn't break. But and also, like right now, there's actually temperature. Like it's he turned on the heat now, because when I was doing it was just some residual heat. Now but when it was in my hand, the tea was just everywhere. Yeah. See, like it become much busy because of what I did.
差不多的。
要行了。
现在呢就断了几颗，不要。
断了几颗。
那再炒下去呢，我也弄不好了。他过头了，时间过头了。
He said, so this is the batch of tea I was doing earlier. He said right now it's still savable. If you let it sit for a little longer, the heat will dry the tea even more. He said then it'll become unsavable. He said now it's not that busy. He said like the one I did, you can see, by the way, this is what I'm talking about, the toothpick shape. So it's actually shrank too much and it's a little smaller, versus the one that he made is still very plump and has a meaty looking to it, but it's flat. So I just want to show you the differences between the different Long Jings, basically. So over here, this is the very early pick of Qunti-zhong, which means basically just a group varietal. So this is the original or the indigenous varieties of the region. It actually will have one that's even more tender looking of this one, but so this was the Long Jing 43. But this is a very late pick of it. This is remember, today is already April 6th, so Long Jing 43 usually started picking very early. It's like sometimes even before March 20th, and this year they actually started picking like around the 10th, but then it snowed, so they stopped the picking and then pick it up again later that month. So and most tourists come and buy this, so all the early pick of this one's been bought off. You can see it's much more even in comparison to this one. So this is a late pick of the original varietal. This is just from recent days. But I just want to show you, so I want to show you two different things basically. One is the difference between the different varietals. Sorry, these two are not exactly comparable because they're two different picking grades, but these two both are old varieties, but you can see the difference in just the picking. So the early picks, you can see the bud is much more plump. It's even more yellow in comparison to the greener ones. It's meatier, and if you pay close attention, you can see the tea hair as well. I mean, in Long Jing, all the tea hairs has fallen off because you keep rubbing it, but it'll congeal into little balls. And versus this one, you see very little hair, and it has started to have more discoloration. So it's actually very, very easy to tell just the kind of just based on appearance alone. At least you can tell the picking grade of the tea. So I gotta show this really, really quickly. So what's in here is limestone. And we set the tea in a cloth bed and basically set on top of the sun limestone. It's really dark, you can't see because it's rainy today, and it's not good. It's not good to open it up to show me, but I just wanted to show you. 好，行，你就别把那个茶叶弄坏了。He was like, you have to be quick so the moisture doesn't get in. But the very purpose of limestone is to absorb the additional moisture from the tea or from the surrounding air to prevent the tea from basically rotten. I was saying that tea region usually is not a very good place to keep tea because it's very humid, especially right after the tea season. We're going to enter summer, which is going to be even humider, like more humid. And remember the number one enemy for tea is moisture. Now, back in the days before China, we have air conditioner or refrigeration. Using limestone to keep the tea dry is one of the main techniques, basically. The step is called the shouhui, so it's still considered more preferred than refrigeration, because refrigeration is a little controversial because it does keep the tea fresher for longer. However, for somebody who sells the tea, once you take the tea out and then the customer needs to travel with the tea, it can create condensation, which is really, really bad for the tea. However, I would still recommend that if you buy the tea and then at home and then you're just gonna drink the tea, like you're already the end consumer, it's probably a pretty good idea to keep the tea in the refrigerator. So because the time that the tea will spend in and out of the fridge is shorter. Usually they will put the tea in the limestone for about half a month before they sell the tea to customer. And in general, by the way, no tea is, even though green tea, yellow tea, you want to consume it fresh, but no tea is considered in its best shape when it's first made. Usually you want to wait for at least 3 weeks before you drink the tea. So and then afterwards he will put the tea in with a small piece of limestone or the limestone powder, and that'll keep the tea fresh for a whole year. So before the next tea season starts. Remember, before tea become such a profitable trade, the local people, the reason they make tea is because they drank tea. Now he was also recommending that if you keep it at home, just keep it in the fridge because you only have so little tea. And but keeping in the fridge, another risk. This might be a Chinese unique risk. Basically, you have other things in the fridge which the smell might get into tea. So if you have like a dedicated tea fridge, that would be the best. I am actually in the park of Tiger Run right now. So not only. So one of the things that Longjing tea enjoys so much fame among all Chinese teas, I think has to do with how close it is to the city, and therefore like kind of close to all of its very important patrons ever since the old times. Now as a result, a lot of these the tea lots or the well-known landmark places have all become kind of like a tourist attraction as well. So right now, Tiger Run also turned into a park. So you have to purchase an admission fee to enter. It's not very expensive, but so I mean in here, not only I've been having trouble finding the Tiger Run teas. I've seen some flatland ones. I'm not sure if that's it. But anyway, so Tiger obviously was the fourth in ranking among all the Chinese teas. And then, among the Longjing teas. I think there might be some like foreigners waving. Anyway, so Tiger, that's the fourth in ranking among all the Longjings. But most importantly is it's Tiger Tiger Run has the #1 water, and whenever people give example of famous water paired with famous tea, I mean usually it's also local water with local tea. The famous pairing, usually people would give Long Jing and Tiger Run water as an example. So another well-known example would be the Mengding tea and the Yangtze River water. So I'm really excited to get some Tiger Run water. It's really sweet. Usually you gotta let it rest for a little bit before you taste it, but I'm gonna have some. Over there is Tiger Run, and you can see some of the senior citizens of Hangzhou already carrying out some water. It is definitely a ritual or a routine for a lot of locals here to get Tiger Run water. Usually you see the older people doing it because remember it is a park and it charges admission fee. However, if you pass a certain age and you hold a senior card, the park admission fee is actually waived. So the elderlies of the household usually will come here and fill up their bottles with Tiger Run water. I'm so excited. This is Tiger Run water. Yeah. So the Tiger Run water is supposed to be even too sweet for the Long Jing tea. Usually they say that you need to let it sit for a little while, for a few days before. The line is really long, so I didn't want to delay anybody, but supposedly you want to let the water to rest for a few days before you use it for tea. Otherwise the sweetness is going to overpower the taste of tea. It is really sweet, I have to say. It is really sweet. I'm not sure how sweet it is because my memory of other water kind of fading. I did have other pretty sweet water, let's say in Qishan, in where Huapian is. Their water is pretty sweet too. But this is sweet. Like you can obviously taste the sweetness in the water. So over here, under the glass, this is actually where the Tiger Run spring actually is, and but this one it's forbidden to get water from this spot to avoid contamination. So what the government did was actually line this water directed to where we were getting the water there, because I don't know the details of it, but supposedly over here is you can't get